Now 4:30 on WKYT this morning. The man arrested after a deadly apartment fire in Winchester doesn't think he should be charged with manslaughter. A strange scene in Lexington. A chase ends with a moped getting stuck underneath an SUV and catching on fire. We're tracking the investigation into that. And today is crucial for presidential candidates. A few big states holding primaries that could make or break campaigns. That and more ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. So good to have you with us here on WKYT. As we get this Tuesday off and rolling, today looks to be the best day in the forecast for a few ahead. It's going to be calm here for the most part for a little while. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, we had some storms out and about yesterday. They were very spotty. Not everybody actually saw them, but they're just scattered out and about. Once that has pushed on through, you can see that moving off into West Virginia and also Virginia. So things are really calming down throughout your day. Temperatures are there in the 50s. We're calm, we're quiet this morning. 56 now, and Jackson feels pretty good outside. And by the afternoon, like Bill was talking about, this is the best day in the forecast. 72 degrees, a really nice day in store. Tonight we get a front rolling through. Will that bring us thunderstorms? And also, how much are our temperatures going to drop? Because they are going to drop the next few days, and I'll have that coming up.
Okay, we'll see you shortly. Thank you, Micah. The man arrested after a fire that killed 3 people in a Winchester apartment building does not think he should be charged with manslaughter. 55-year-old Jackie Heisel Jr.'s son was among those who died in the fire. Heisel gave an exclusive interview with WKYT from jail where he apologized for what happened.
Things I wish I could have done and things I wish I'd done different. Yeah, I regret it. Like I say, I regret it every day.
Heisel says the fire started when he was smoking and drinking near his oxygen tank. His neighbors lost everything in the fire. They believe that he is sorry for what happened, and they feel bad for him.
Everybody knows not to smoke around an oxygen tank, but I mean, I guess if you're drinking and having a good time, I mean, stuff happens.
I believe he's sorry. I believe, you know, a lot of it was maybe alcohol related.
Some of the people living at those apartments set up memorials for the 3 people who died. Funerals were held yesterday for 2 of the victims, Dixie Everman and Heisel's son, Donald. It's grabbed the attention of people in that area. We're learning more about what led up to a moped getting stuck under an SUV and then catching on fire in Lexington. The driver of the SUV pulled into a parking lot on Fortune Court off Fortune Drive after it happened. Our Garrett Weimer tracked the investigation.
Employees at Gray Bar Electric say the scene in their parking lot provided a bit of a shock right before they left work for the day.
No, it makes for an interesting Monday.
Police say it started somewhere else with an argument between teenagers. They say teens inside an SUV stole money from a teen on a moped, then took off. Police say the teen on the moped followed the SUV to the stoplight at Winchester Road and Fortune Drive. Police say the teen on the moped reached into the car to try to get his money back. That's when police say the SUV made a U-turn to try to get away, but it took the moped with it. The teen was able to get off the moped and wasn't hurt, but pieces of the moped litter the 2/10 of a mile to Fortune Court.
Car came pulling down through here, dragging a scooter. It pulled into our driveway. Right there at the end, on fire, flames coming up the side. Guys just jumped out of it, kind of just took off running that way.
Witnesses say one of their co-workers ran outside with a fire extinguisher and put the fire out. Police say the teen on the moped got his money back and he was okay.
Yeah, you don't want to see somebody get hurt like that.
News those who saw the end unfold were happy to hear. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And police say they were told that a gun was involved, but they say what they found was not a real gun. Winchester police have released surveillance pictures of a man wanted in connection to a bank fraud case. They say the case involves an ATM, but they did not provide any more details. They say a similar crime happened in a nearby city, so they think the suspect may not be from Winchester. Police in Laurel County say a man's target shooting got out of control. They say some of his shots hit 2 homes. Police say people on Bar Barberville Road near London, called to complain, and police arrested 42-year-old Calvin Barger. Police say he was target shooting in his yard when one of the rounds hit a nearby roof. They say another round went into a bathroom of a second home. A man who lives there says one of the bullets nearly hit his wife.
When I talked to my neighbor over there, he said they were shooting guns over there across the hillside from our house, and just like a war zone.
Police charged Barger with criminal mischief and wanton endangerment. Well, the sight of it caught many people by surprise. A professional kayaker is talking about why he decided to ride over Cumberland Falls. Video of the stunt went viral over the weekend. Kayaker Nick Troutman and also Dane Jackson both rode their kayaks over the falls. Troutman says it was the result of many hours of training and 15 years of kayaking professionally.
We did not expect the video to go viral. We did not expect people necessarily to even be there watching it. It was more of just a personal goal that we had set.
Both men were cited for trespassing, which could cost them a couple of $100 each. State park leaders there discourage people from doing anything like this because they say the falls are extremely dangerous. A national organization says it is worried about a bill that would allow classes about the Bible to be taught in public schools across Kentucky. The bill received unanimous approval from the Senate Education Committee last week. Supporters say the Bible would be taught as literature and the class would not be a requirement for students. But the Anti-Defamation League says it is, quote, deeply concerned that the bill would result in the unconstitutional teaching of religious doctrine in public schools. The organization says the bill needs safeguards to make sure that doesn't happen. Registering to vote in Kentucky has just gotten a little easier. Kentucky Secretary of State announcing yesterday that Kentuckians can now register to vote online. The website WKYT.com allows Kentucky to register and update their information and change their party affiliation. Allison Lundergan Grimes, the Secretary of State, calls the move historic for the Commonwealth.
This is a presidential election year, and our hope and goal is to make sure that all eligible Kentuckians have access to the ballot box. And today is a historic day as we make a transformative change that will change the way, in a positive manner, that all Kentuckians have access to the ballot box.
Now, again, that website is govotekentucky.com. The Commonwealth will join 29 other states in offering online voter registration. A bill that would allow early voting without an excuse has passed the Kentucky House. That bill now moves on to the Senate. The early voting period would include 2 Saturdays. Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes is pushing for that bill as well, but opponents say early voting would be difficult for county clerks with small office staffs. Presidential candidates have made their final pitches to voters ahead of 5 crucial primaries that are taking place today. For Republicans John Kasich and Marco Rubio, today's contest could make or break their campaigns with their home states on the line. Weijia Jiang has the latest from the campaign trail.
Donald Trump told supporters in Youngstown, Ohio, he's focusing on helping Americans rather than his form.
I'm more interested in having jobs in this country than I am acting presidential, okay? Get him out of here.
Trump's rivals have been raising concerns about the tone of his rallies.
One difference between this and a Donald Trump rally is I'm not asking anyone to punch you in the face.
Protesters repeatedly interrupted Trump in Tampa Monday.
These people are crazy.
Ohio Governor John Kasich says Trump has gone too far.
Well, I think that when you run a campaign where you're dividing one against another, we're making these incendiary comments at a rally, that's a toxic environment.
Trump and Kasich are tied in Ohio. The winner-take-all primary is a must-win for Kasich.
Marco Rubio needs to win here in Florida to keep his campaign alive, but Trump is leading the state's senator by a more than 2-to-1 margin.
This state will elect 99 delegates to one person. And I want it to be me, and I need you to help it to be me.
Democrats Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are neck and neck in Illinois. Sanders is focusing on Midwestern states after his upset win in Michigan.
I think we're going to win in Ohio tomorrow.
Clinton is trying to attract blue-collar workers.
I will stop dead in its tracks any trade deal that hurts America.
More than 1,000 delegates are up for grabs Tuesday. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Key Biscayne, Florida.
And along with Florida, Ohio, and Illinois, voters in Missouri and North Carolina also head to the polls today. A big day on the campaign trail. Well, the UK women's team found how who they'll be playing and where in the NCAA tournament. Last night, the Cats found out that they are the 3 seed in the Lexington region and will play UNC Asheville in Memorial Coliseum this Saturday. It's the opportunity that Coach Matthew Mitchell says his team was looking for.
Just grateful the committee put us in Lexington, and I think it's going to be outstanding. We have to really work hard to get a victory in the first round, but the prospects of being able to play in Lexington Sweet 16 is exciting, and our team needs to work hard, but our community really needs to come out and buy some tickets and support it no matter who's in the region.
Notre Dame is the #1 seed in the Lexington region, Maryland #2. The game will be at 4 o'clock Saturday. It will be on ESPN2. But again, as the coach is encouraging folks, head out and see it in person if you can and support the Kentucky women. WKYT This Morning is just getting started. It's great to have you with us. It's now 4:41. Are you constantly feeling overwhelmed? Well, coming up in today's Mom's Everyday Minute, we'll see why practicing mindfulness can help calm a racing mind. It's still ahead on WKYT This Morning.
All the focus today on the temperatures. They look really nice as we head toward the afternoon. Extremely nice day, but let me tell you, temperatures start to dive in the next few days, and I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
All the rain we had yesterday has already moved on out, and we're starting to see the last sprinkles back toward eastern Kentucky slowly but surely glide on out of here. So things are looking pretty good this morning and staying dry. Temperatures are in the 50s. Now, that's pretty much where we were yesterday morning. So as you're stepping out the door, what you felt yesterday morning is basically what you're going to feel this morning. We're at 53 now in Lexington, mid-50s across the region, some 40s down south and southeast, but nonetheless, it's a good start to the day. Playground forecast for all the teachers. Just know that by 11 a.m. we'll be in the mid-60s. I mean, it'll be a pretty good feel. I would say 11 a.m. in the mid-60s will still be on the cool side if we have the cloud cover overhead, because we'll still have some wind outside, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Nonetheless, at least it's dry. We hit the 1 p.m. hour and we're at 68 degrees, almost 70 degrees. So this will be a good day to get the kids outside. You'll be able to do that the next couple of days. But I will tell you this, things will change as we continue to go with those ups and downs. Today, mostly cloudy, but at least we're staying dry. It'll look like it can rain on us during the morning hours, but I believe afternoon, start to get at least a few peaks of sunshine. Highs in the 70s. Will be low 70s for most. We could top out 74, 75 degrees in a couple locations. But as we're going to be looking across the next several days, this is the warmest day in the forecast. You better enjoy it while it lasts. As we approach that Wednesday, Thursday time frame, we're talking mainly dry conditions. Notice I say mainly because overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, we'll actually have a front roll through, and that'll give us that opportunity of rain overnight when most of us are asleep. Anywhere from midnight to about 6 a.m. is when you can expect that. But those temperatures will start to turn cooler. Tomorrow we'll be in the 60s, but the following day, on Thursday, we're actually in the 50s. Then we hit Friday and into your weekend. Here's where the chilly air really comes into place. Now we're talking about Friday there in the 50s. The weekend, not only the 40s, but maybe some 30s too, and possible flakes there on Sunday as the system travels on through here. It doesn't look like a big deal, big issue. And remember, these grounds are extremely warm, so it's going to be hard-pressed to actually get anything sticking. But nonetheless, we are not out of the way there on Sunday with some flakes being a possibility. So let's go over the next few days. Pretty good-looking days in store, mainly dry now through your Friday. We will have bits and pieces, a small chance here or there of a passing shower, but for the most part, we are going to stay dry. It's about those temperatures, Bill. You see 72 there this afternoon. Then we're in the 60s, then we're in the 50s, then 40s, then 30s. I mean, it just goes down from here on out as that pattern continues to change. I will tell you this, looking long range, after Sunday and into Monday, you can see Monday jumps back up to the mid-40s. It goes back up from there, too. So it's only a minor shot of some winter, and that's going to be there for the weekend, especially Sunday.
One last gasp, maybe.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
All right.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. 4:47 is the time. Moms are known for being multitaskers. Sometimes it can be a lot to juggle all of the day's activities. But research shows that slowing down to focus on one thing can make us happier. Here's more on mindfulness in today's Mom's Everyday Minute.
like to use the analogy of a snow globe. Often in our busy lives, our minds are like the snow globe when it's all shooken up and the snow is moving all over. Stress literally changes your brain. So does meditation and the practice of meditation and mindfulness. And mindfulness is this overarching theme of paying attention on purpose. You don't have to get less busy or try to fix anything or change it. It's really about reclaiming this moment. So you may not be able to sit on a cushion for an hour in a meditation class, but you may be able to sit for 10 seconds before you're picking your kid up from school, or just taking a deep breath before you come home. So breathing in patience for yourself, and then breathing out, exhaling that patience out for the world.
And for these tips and more, go to WKYT.com and click on Moms Every Day. And there you'll find the latest news and updated weather as well. And coming up on WKYT this morning, if you're following the Cats to Iowa, don't be fooled by ticket scams. We'll have some tips coming up on WKYT this morning. Hey, good morning again. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. It's 4:51. For the UK basketball team, the road to the Final Four will begin in Des Moines. But if you're heading to Iowa to catch the Cats in the NCAA tournament, be careful where you buy your tickets. The Better Business Bureau says the online ticket market is filled with scams and false advertisements. While some ticket websites have money-back guarantees, experts say money orders are nearly impossible to recover.
If you wire money to someone, that's a big no-no because there's just no guarantees on anything. That's like throwing money in the street. You won't be able to recover it if you've shot it to a con artist and you don't get anything in return.
The NCAA says the only 100% guaranteed way to buy and sell tournament tickets is through the NCAA's Ticket Exchange website. A Lexington restaurant has closed just 3 months after opening up in business. Macho Nacho at High and Euclid in Chevy Chase closed over the weekend. In a Facebook post, the owner, Aaron Rothke, said the restaurant went well over budget in its opening and was low on working capital. He also said the payroll and food costs were too high and sales were not keeping up. Rothke says the restaurant is now considering its options. A yellow decal on your car window can help first responders if you're injured in a crash. Kentucky State Police are taking part in the Yellow Dot program along with the Knox County Sheriff's Office and some other law enforcement agencies. If you put a yellow sticker on one of your car's windows, that will tell first responders that you have medical conditions they need to know about. You'll also need to fill out a pamphlet with that medical information. And our time now is 4:53, and coming up next, to look at some of the stories our news team is working on for you this morning. We'll also have a look at your morning weather forecast as we get this Tuesday off and rolling. It's good to have you with us. We'll be right back. Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. 4:56 now on your Tuesday, and it's time to take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning. Today, a judge will hear the case between a Lexington Women's Clinic and Governor Matt Bevin's Cabinet for Health and Family Services. The Bevin administration claims in a lawsuit it's filed that the clinic is operating without a license. The EMW Women's Clinic has put off performing abortions until a ruling is made in the case. We'll have more on this coming up at the top of the hour. And we want to check weather. Today looks to be a pretty good day. Meteorologist Micah Harris working here this morning, bright and early.
Yeah, we're trying to push that rain on out. We still have a couple of sprinkles, maybe a little drizzle far southeastern areas, but within the hour, it's going to be long gone, and you have no chance of rain during the afternoon. We're 54 degrees now in Lexington, 50s for the most part across the region. So as you're walking out the door, it's mainly what you felt yesterday morning is what you're going to feel this morning. Really nice day in store. It's 68 there by noontime. Good for lunchtime. Maybe out on the patio. It all depends on the cloud cover. If you get some peaks of sunshine, that actually makes it feel way better than having those clouds overhead. But 72 by the afternoon, this is by far your warmest temperature in the forecast. We really go down with those temperatures. And I'm going to have that coming up with another 2 hours of WKYT News. We're about to take off early this morning. Take it easy. Have a good day. But if not, we'll see you back here in a couple of minutes.